today's topic, pausing. Sarah talked to this lovely person here, who is called Robert Poynton, or I'm allowed to call him Rob because I've done some stuff with Rob. So Rob is responsible for one of the most interesting learning experiences I have ever had, which is this thing, Yellow. So this is like a couple of years ago now that I did this. He runs something called Yellow Learning, which I can only describe as experimental learning, I would say. It's the most curious form of learning I have ever done. I did it like, I don't know, late in the pandemic, all virtual. It was a international community of people who were all doing very, very different things. And every week, Rob and his co-founder Alex would lead a very interesting learning experience. By very interesting, one of the things we had to describe paintings by senses. So like, what would it smell like if you were going to touch the painting? What would it touch? Like, you need to like activate all your senses. That was fascinating. And then another time we had to create sock puppets that talk to each other with different emotions. That was quite interesting. The most memorable was a breathing exercise that, and I had to do that from home. And you had to do like heavy breathing, like a heavy breathing. And I had some people downstairs renovating my kitchen who came upstairs because they thought I was poorly at one point. And I was like, no, I'm just doing a breathing exercise. it was, and then at one point I had to like crawl beneath my screen because I had to go see the people who were working in the kitchen. And I didn't want everyone else to see me on camera, like not being present breathing. So yeah, very memorable learning experiences with Rob. He has also written a book, which was the focus of this episode, which was Do Pause. And I was like listening to him on the podcast this morning, and I was one of the things that I wrote down was how he sort of described the power of pauses. For anyone that listened, I don't know if this is stuck out to you, but he talked about bread, and he said that a pause is like bread. So I'm going to attempt to draw that. That's a slice of bread. It's a wonky slice of bread, and that is a slice of bread with no yeast. And he said, like, you know, like when you have yeast in bread, it can rise, right? He's like, the pause is like the yeast because the bread basically is better when it has yeast. If it doesn't have yeast, it's like a flat, solid lump. It's got no air in it. And I quite like the idea that in our work, pause is like the air that makes us better. Like if we do not pause, we're like the bread that can't rise. Does that work? It works for me. I was like, oh, that's quite a nice analogy. I don't really want to be a lump that doesn't rise. That does not appeal to me. I want to be nice, springy bread that everybody wants. So yes, it may or may not work with you. I get lost between analogies and metaphors, but anyway, the bread thing. But that's how he described it. And I wanted to ask you, and we'll try annotation, though my tech is going all over the place today, so I'm not 100% sure if this will work. But I wanted to know whether you were a natural pauser, in which case you're going to put a star on my screen on the green, and we'll explain how to do stars if you are new, Abby. Or whether you are not a natural pauser. So if you are a natural pauser, you're going to go stars on the screen on the green. If you are not a natural pauser, you are going to go stars on the screen on the red. The pausing, everybody, I can't turn off I'm sorry, I can't turn off the names today. I do not know what is happening with Zoom. But the pausing, it's towards the bottom of your screen normally. It says view options, annotate, stamp and star, though my Zoom things are a bit different at the moment. So if you can't do it, don't worry. If you can't do it, maybe just pop it into chat for now. Are you a natural pauser? Are you not a natural pauser? Let's see what trends we have in our PodPlus team. Green. So Grace, I'm going to put you a little star here. Sarah's saying there may also be a pen at the bottom of your screen that can help you to annotate. It's when they do updates, we get a bit lost with it. So, as a group, this is very interesting to me. So I'm also here, big cross for me. I'm a rubbish pauser. Sarah would be over here, lovely Sarah, business partner. But I kind of thought you would all be natural pausers because we fit PodPlus into your very busy week. So that surprises me. I thought you'd all be very good at pausing. No judgment, especially not from me, but interesting to see. So if we are not very good at pausing, the research says that we are more at risk of burnout. That is not good. And also it is more likely to hold our learning back because we are not creating the space in our brain to reflect and to reset. So that's the risk really of us not getting this right, to be honest. The payoff's pretty compelling. I wanted to ask you a few more questions, but I'm now going to have to try and get rid of your stars, which is interesting when my thing is not working. How can I do that? Can anyone in my team remove people's stars? Because my Zoom is just not showing me the functionality at the moment that I need. Oh, this is so annoying, everyone. I'm really sorry. I can't stop the sharing. Sarah, in my team, are you able to get rid of people's stars or not?
I'm just trying. 1 minute.
Sorry, everybody. We'll just give it a moment. If not, I'm going to have to I don't know what I'm going to do. Okay. We're just going to keep going. But unfortunately, I can't get rid of your stars on my screen because of whatever's happening with Zoom today. Really unhelpful. And I can't also stop sharing. So I can't even take my screen down. So I'm just going to keep talking. Maybe make my face bigger and ignore what is currently going on the screen because I can't fix it. So what I wanted to understand from you was one of the things that Rob talked about was he said that the reason sometimes people find it hard to pause. So if you're like me, like the majority of us don't find it hard to pause, the reason some people find it hard to pause is because their work they feel like they can't control their work. Like it's impossible for me to pause because so much is coming at me. And what he was saying was actually the pausing is more like a belief. So he said that some people believe the reason they can't pause is that they believe they have to keep going to be successful, like more is better. Maybe it's like, well, if I stop, then I will, I won't be good. I'll kind of fail in my approach. I just wondered for you, do you think the reason that you just forget what's going on the screen, everyone, because I can't get rid of it, I'm sorry. But if the reason that you might struggle to pause, do you think that is because you have an overwhelming amount of work? Thank you for whoever did that. I'm very happy. But the reason that you feel like you can't pause, is that because you feel like you have an overwhelming amount of work, so pausing isn't possible? Or do you think it is more to do with your belief systems that, like more is better? Busy is better, more is better. Like if I do more, I'll achieve more. Can you let me know in chat? Let's just forget the screens. What do you busy is better? Carolyn, I think I'm with you. I think that's my problem with pausing. I think I have worked for a long time and then I think I have created busy work, because I've gone in my head, busy is better. If you stop, it's not good. If you're slow, you won't grow. Or I think I've got this really annoying anti-pause mindset, which could actually be quite problematic for me. I think I've created work that reinforces that. Grace says a bit of both. Sam says, feel like if I do more, I'll achieve more. If I stop, I'll get left behind. Yeah, it's I think it's worth recognizing because I think it is hard. Some of the things that I'm going to talk about now, I think it is hard for you to do unless you address the fact that your beliefs might be working against you. That was my kind of biggest insight. I can tell you some of these tools about pausing, but are you actually going to do them unless you recognize that people who don't pause are more at risk of burnout and they are less likely to learn? I feel like that is the thing. If you are someone who has gone, busy is good, if I do more, I'll grow more. If you've done that for a long time, you're going to be like, oh, pausing's nice in theory, but I'm probably not going to do it. I think if you can probably start to think about how can I believe that relentless work is not really that good for my growth and that I am going to be more at risk of burnout and less likely to learn unless I do this. I think that's the thing I think you probably have to attach yourself to if you're actually going to do some of this stuff. And I can point you it's whatever will help you to do something different, but I can point you in the direction of the research if that is it. Or maybe it's just like you stick a post-it note on your desk that says more work equals more burnout. I don't know what your mantra will be, but I think you probably have to reset your kind of belief system in order to do something different. There were several people that were like the green. You were like, I am good at pausing, Helen. I'm a pause person, a bit like Sarah, like a natural pause person. Can I just go to you as, people who are good at practicing pauses? Could you just share in chat with us, what are some of the things that you already do? So I'm going to share some of Rob's ideas, but what are some of the things that you already do that are that help you to fit pausing in? I'd love to learn a bit more from you. So Sarah, for example, she loves a walk. She's very, very good at a walk. She's also very good at turning tech off, which can be quite frustrating if you're not a pauser. You're like, why aren't you responding to me instantly? She's like, because I'm doing something quite healthy for my brain, Helen. Before I do a coaching session, I put 5 minutes in the diary to ground myself. That's lovely. Laura, you're a walker too. What else have we got? Ah, I love the connecting of the dots. Lucy saying that there's sort of some similarities between what Oliver Berkman says in 4,000 Weeks, which is also a conversation has. There's a theme here. Sarah talks to the pause people, which I should probably do more of. It's because she loves it. She's like, oh, let's like validate pausing. I should probably do more of it. That would be a growth thing for me to do. Music breaks, yeah, lots. That's a lovely thing, and that's something that Rob talked about. He mentioned somebody that listened to, I think, was it like a 5 minute, 4 seconds jazz song, and that kind of created the space. This is extreme, but I heard about someone who was a CEO, because I presume they had the money to do this, but they built themselves. This is really bad. They built themselves a separate entrance to their house where they had their own bathroom, and when they got home from work, they had like a shower and a bathroom, and then they could go be the family person. I was like, that is extreme. Like, yeah, maybe the music is a more realistic way to do it. I put green, good at pausing during the workday. I put green. What's green, Jess? I put green, good at pausing during the workday. Oh, you put green with a capital G. I thought that was like an app. I got it. I was like, oh, what's green? Is there a new app? No, it's just what I put on the screen. Thank you. And I go make a cup of tea. Yeah. I used to be, do you know what? I've stopped doing this. I used to make, this is so silly, but I used to make loose leaf tea in a teapot, and I know that is random, but my mum used to work for like in the pottery, so I've got loads of like teapots. It's niche knowledge, everyone. And I was like, oh, I'm going to use these teapots, because who uses teapots now anyway? To use a teapot and make loose leaf tea, it just takes longer, and I actually used to quite enjoy like the process of just making a pot of tea. Now I drink far too much coffee, and it's a lot quicker. Making sourdough, I admire you, Craig. Also good yeast. What is it called? The mother, the thing that grows. Magic station, brilliant. Okay, so you're doing lots of things. I think maybe there's some like ideas to steal in here. The walk to the car, the kettle boiling, time to reflect. There's some nice little ideas in here. Sorry, you now all know random facts about me and teapots. Maybe I'll bring one to PodPlus one day. I'll make some tea with you. Okay, some ideas that we talked about and a quote. Look, I did prepare everyone, I promise, but I'm not risking sharing the screen again. It's going to go random. There was a lovely quote that I thought Rob said that I wrote down. If you never look up, you might be going the wrong way. Oh, that resonated with me as well. As a reason to pause. Like, if you're never pausing, how do you know if you're going in the right direction? Because, like relentless progress and doing, you might be missing out on some brilliant things for your development. So that, again, that kind of was a bit of a motivation for me. I'd probably put that quote. If you never look up, you might be going the wrong way. I'd probably keep that quote. So there was an exercise. Maybe I'll just describe this. I'll describe it and you can do it. Maybe you can put it up to the screen rather than me draw it for you. So there's an exercise that that Rob talked about, which is the ones and the circles. So I'll describe it for you, and then maybe if you've got a piece of paper, maybe just take I might just give you 30 seconds to do this for yourself, and I'll do it and I'll hold mine up. So the way to reflect on the way that you pause today in your work is if you imagine your day. So take yesterday. If you imagine yesterday in a series of lines, so lines are like busy moments, busy, and then circles are the moments when in the day you have a pause. So if I just draw mine, I'll draw mine really quickly for you and hold up the screen, so just so you can see what I mean. So yesterday, I start my day with quite a lot of pauses because I tend to get up early and it's when I read. And then I'm really busy. And then at the end of the day, I tend to do a tiny bit of reading again. So if I was to draw like an average day in the life of Helen Tupper, it is an early morning with a little bit of pausing. I get really annoyed if people interrupt that time. Like really annoyed. That's generally my children. And then busy. And by the way, I do not think this is good, but that is the reality of what my day generally looks like. Could you just do yours for a moment? If you've got a piece of paper, maybe just take 30 seconds, just do yours. Oh, what we got there? Lottie. Oh, Lot. I don't know if it's Lot or Lottie, but I think I'll say Lot if that's all right. Is it Lot? Lottie. Okay. So you've got circles within your day. What else, everyone? Who's holding one up to the screen so we can see? So Lottie's got kind of different circles within the day. Anyone else hold up theirs to the screen? Oh, Victoria, you've got loads of pausing. That's brilliant. Loads of pausing in your day. What else, everybody? Craig's like, Helen, you don't need to hold it up. You don't need to hold it up to the screen. You can put it in the chat. Love that, Craig. Love it. Building things better every day. What have we got there, Kerry? Kerry, you're quite structured with your pauses. How do you do that? How have you got regular pauses? You can come off mute or you can put in the chat, whatever you
Yeah,
like.
I have to diarise them because I have experienced how bad my well-being and my resilience gets if I don't insert them into my day. So I appreciate we're talking about learning here, but I have to be quite structured, otherwise it doesn't happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I use my smartwatch and it has a vibrate function. So every hour, if I've not moved, it just vibrates on my wrist and sort of just lets me know, get up, move, and that just helps me pause a little bit as well.
I absolutely love that. Thank you. That is the practical kind of pause tips that we need. Like actually realistically, how do we do this? We have a watch that vibrates. Also that links to the next idea that I was going to talk about, which is speed bumps. So I think I go on about this all the time. So I'm sorry if you've heard this before, but the whole Pringle thing, you're like regular people are like, Helen, stop talking about Pringles and red Pringles. I go on about it all the time. So there was some experiment that was done years ago where they were trying to, when you're operating on autopilot, and the example would be eating a tube of Pringles, like, once you pop, you can't stop. They were trying to work out, well, how do we stop? So a bit like work, how do we stop when once you start, you can't stop. And so what they did was they put in a packet of Pringles a red Pringle. Like imagine that the red Pringle's like the speed bump, right? Because you're eating Pringles, and then you find the red Pringle, you're like, ooh, that's weird. And it triggers your brain to basically go, oh my gosh, I've eaten half a pack of Pringles, I should probably stop. It's the same with the speed bump. So the idea is in your day, what interrupts you from like all the lines. So for Kerry, for example, it's a diarized pause that would then vibrate, something like that. Or for me, it might be sometimes it could be like I don't know, what would be my speed bump? Maybe it's the tea, like the teapot thing, like actually putting the teapot next to the kettle might be the thing that makes me go, oh, do you know, if I stopped drinking coffee in the day, if I only drank tea and I did it in a teapot, that would probably be a speed bump. So it's the idea of what are speed bumps in your day. Rob talked about, sometimes if you can put devices further away from you. So maybe like if you're working from home, are there some things that you work with? Like he talked about a printer, for example, that is not in his office. So the fact that he has to go to another room to do this creates a natural speed bump. It means you can't sit there at your desk all day and keep doing it. Lunch could be a speed bump. And I was thinking about individual speed bumps. So maybe a walk at the start of a day. And then I was also thinking about what would a team speed bump be? I would love your ideas on that in the last couple of minutes. If you were trying to create team speed bumps, because I think that's where you could probably create a more healthy pausing culture in your company, is where you create team speed bumps. Any thoughts? I was thinking maybe a walk and talk. Yeah, coffee and chat. But I like Lucy's 15 minutes, like a short coffee and chat. So it doesn't have to be, like let's stick an hour in the diary. What else? I mean, I think this is like a little team. This is like a little team speed bump. We're more than halfway through our week. You've probably been doing a lot. You kind of come here for half an hour. I think this is good. I take colleagues for a walk, 25 minutes, nice. Drawasaurus. I mean, I need to know more about Drawasaurus, Diana. You can't drop that one in chat and move on. What on earth is Drawasaurus? We have Fika. Lottie, is that like the cake and tea thing? Where's she gone? Yes, can see. Okay, I like Fika. What else? My friend sends me lovely cinnamon buns for Christmas. Random point, but I think that'd be good. That'd be very good for Fika. We are volunteering. That's lovely. Wednesday, 1 p.m, 50 minutes of learning on someone's hobby. Desk yoga. You are all brilliant. I love all this. Desk yoga, Drawasaurus. Great. The Swedish do tea breaks. Bring back 11s. I used to love 11s. When I was growing up, I'm giving you lots of information. I used to have a cup. It was a little bear cup, and it used to be like, it's time for 11s. I love 11s. What happened to 11s? Bring back 11s. Okay, everyone, we need to move on because Sarah needs this Zoom chat, and you need time to pause. Before I go, maybe commit to a pause over the next week. Maybe steal one of the ideas in here. You can save the chat. I think you can save the chat. Who knows what you can do on Zoom today? But maybe like copy and paste. There's loads of brilliant ideas in here.